On tonight's show, we're going to get in depth into the mystery team of 2025, the USC Trojans, and talk about the things that other people won't. They're one of the most talked about programs all around the nation, and everybody has their eyes on USC and what is the state and the identity of the Trojans in 2025. Well, I'm here to break it all down for you. If you was looking for your latest plug and everything that you need to know in the world of college football, look no further, my friend. This is the world of CFB. Let's get it, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to another episode of World of CFB, hosted by myself, Moon. I'm a credential media member and small piece of the puzzle that makes up the CFB Nation umbrella. Special shout out to the gang behind the scenes and everything that y'all do. Boys, we appreciate you. And then special shout out to host CFB Nation. Special shout out to sponsors, Bet US. Let's get into it. So there's a team that's out there that everybody seems to want to talk about, but it's all predictive based. Like everybody is going based off of 2024. And I haven't really seen nobody talk about the mystery team of 2025 in a good light. And I feel like Southern California fans out there, nationwide, worldwide, y'all deserve to be put on the spotlight, and not because y'all just USC and the tradition, the history that comes with being University of Southern California. But a lot of people are talking crazy out the side of their neck, like USC didn't have to go through highs and lows adapting to the first year in the Big Ten last year. So I'm here to kind of set the record straight and make you aware of what's going on out there in Southern Cal, but from a perspective that is all the pieces of the puzzle. It's not just blind takes here and there. Oh, they'll finish this or they'll finish that. Nah, that's not what we do. We're educational based. So we're going to teach you about the roster construction in this episode. We're going to go into some of the playmakers and the intangibles that is going to make USC's program something to be feared in 2025, year of our Lord. So let's get to it. And before I do, I got to set the scene and set the stage for you. Last year on the CFB Nation tour, there was a team that I was super excited to see in person, and that was the USC Trojans. I think it was CFB Nation tour week 8. We went and traveled to College Park, Maryland. Myself, director Mike, shout out Mikey. We also was joined by the governor of college football, shout out Lever KT. And we ended up taking a road trip up to College Park, Maryland to feast our eyes on a program that we are super happy to be a part of the CFB Nation umbrella, which was Maryland, but also our first time to see USC and what USC football is in 2024. Now, I was like a kid in the candy store, bro. I remember pulling up onto campus and like we're parking in the parking deck. And I said to myself, like, yo, the energy out here is already live. And why is it that, like, I know College Park, Maryland is a great college football town. So many different things to do, even like outside of campus. Like that area is really developed. I like what it is. On my first time, I was blown away, genuinely blown away about College Park. But the thing that was unnoticeable is the fact that USC fans travel, and they travel anywhere in it don't matter if this team played in Brazil. They would travel all deep to Brazil, and that's the energy that it felt like. So campus was buzzing. The energy was buzzing. I remember we went to the press box. We got all of our credentials. We had to. Maryland has beautiful facilities, by the way. And thank y'all for hosting us on the CFB Nation tour. But it was just the fact that USC was in town. It was that type of bravado. There was no team that I saw on the CFB Nation tour outside of what maybe Clemson that had that type of edge, that type of, oh, like we know that y'all gonna show up for us. They just walk and they talk different. The comparable of it would be being in the HBCU world. Being in the HBCU world, I see a lot of different schools. From, you get the classics, Jackson State, the FAMUs, and they walk and talk with a different type of bravado. So my point that I'm making is when I put up on campus, bro, I was tweaking out because I'm like, yo, this is gonna be the first time ever I'm seeing USC. And then we get on the field and I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, like, this team, the colors, it pops to you. When you start seeing that gold and you start seeing the fans pack the stands, like USC really packed the whole visitor side of College Park, Maryland, and we actually got treated to a great ball game for real. That game was amazing. It came down to the wire, and it was another game that USC lost by less than 7 points or by one possession. That was the tale of USC's season. The fan base is just dying and wishing for something that can transcend time. So we don't have to just reminisce on the glory days. They want something that's like here right now. And it sucked that my first chance to see USC in person was a loss for them. I mean, shake my hand, Maryland. You handled business and you did exactly what you needed to do. But the things that stuck out to me were the way that the crowd traveled. Their fans travel amazing. They remind me of Miami fans. Miami fans travel ridiculously amazing. Michigan fans, they seem to travel quite nice too. But like USC, it's a different type of bravado when them boys be stepping up in the arena. And it don't matter. They come full decked out. The drip, amazing. They pull out all types of drip for if you're a USC fan. And that's the type of things I said, yo, this team is different. So if you took their record and you just threw that out of the window and you just walk and see like how they move as a team, yo, you'd be like, yes, that team fits the bill. Like they got swagger, they got that, they walk like the program that they are until they get on the football field in 2024. I'm not going to sit here and bore you about all the different things that went on in 2024. We already know. If you watch the season, if you're a USC fan, I don't have to repeal band-aids off and talk to you about all the different times last year that we fumbled the bag. But we do have to reminisce on those scars of 6-6 and say that there were growing pains. There was a lot of foundation, and the proof is right there. The proof is in the pudding, USC fans. Let's keep it a book and break it down for anticipation of the 2025 season that's on the horizon for us. Now, this season, there's a voice at quarterback. And he's been through it, literally and figuratively. Not only just talking about his journey going into the college football world, being at UNLV, then transferring in, but I'm talking about being now in a place where you're the face of USC's program in the quarterback position heading into 2025. Now, I'm not going to talk about 2026 just yet, but just know that if you're a USC fans, look, my feet are kicked up all the way on the coffee table with my mug, sipping my chalice of Arizona. Like, go ahead, Jade and Mayava, go do your thing, because waiting in the wings is my guy Hassan Longstreet. We'll talk about him in a second. But this kid is going to be the face of what we're talking about in 2025. Jaden Mayava, and he got the ball rolling. He took his hits literally and figuratively. He got beat up last year. Make no mistake about it, but he turned into a grown man, getting thrown into the fire of the Big Ten, seeing probably the biggest defenses that he's actually had to face so far in his tenure. When you talk about the wreckage of what USC's 2024 season is, this kid 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, showed you flashes of brilliance along the way to get the party started. This is where our hope is going to be rooted in 2025 year of our Lord. He started the final 4 games of the season, finishing with 1,200 yards passing and 11 touchdowns. He threw for 360 yards and 3 scores against Notre Dame, the same Notre Dame that made it to the college football playoff national championship game. And he diced them boys up. 360 with 3 tutties. Then in the Las Vegas Bowl, he said, "You know what, Moan? We're gonna go even crazier. We're gonna put our best performance together in Vegas, Moan." I said, "Jaden, go ahead, do your thing." He put up 4 touchdowns in the Las Vegas Bowl. He said, "You know what? I'm just out here popping my collar." But guess what? I'm not gonna just tell you about all the glitz without telling you about the things that he has to grit through. This man threw 6 interceptions in that stretch too. But these are the makings of a young quarterback. And when you look at the film, you'd be like, look, Lincoln Riley could coach that out of him. It wasn't him just out there, oh, he's being a bonehead. He can't read the field. It was literally just defenses moving faster, anticipation windows closing. You can't just free ball and wing it out here in the Big Ten, bro. You can't. You can't. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. John 3:16. I love it. And I love Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for allowing us to have this platform. But also thank you for allowing Jaden Mayava to be our quarterback in 2025. Because that is what I'm looking at this year. I have a certain sense of comfort. You know what being planted versus being buried is? It's a different type of state. And I feel like most people are looking at USC as buried. Oh, bro, they can't get it right. They can't get it right. Now, this is not a buried situation. This is not we're not pulling out the caskets, bro. We're pulling out the pottery. We're pulling out the garden tools because this team is planted and they had to get planted in 2024. This is not no savior story that I'm about to tell you. This is a resilient story of Jaden Mayava. Because look, the fact of the matter is that Jaden Mayava does not have to be a superstar in 2025 in order for USC to win ball games. He does not have to be one. This is going to be one of Jaden Mayava's his greatest battles that he's ever had to endure, probably in his life. Not only securing the starting job, but knowing that you got a freshman coming in that's cold. That freshman is cold. That boy is like that. If you're a USC fan, you know you've been watching them highlights. You be like, man, the future is bright. Just at the quarterback position alone, I don't want to overwhelm you and oversaturate you, overstimulate your inner being by telling you all the list of recruits that USC has, and people think that it's going to come in 2026. No, I'm going to stay right here in the present moment and just focus on what's right in front of my face. And Jaden Mayava does not have to be a superstar. It's great that he's getting that competition coming in, but he's been through the fire. And I'm sitting here looking at half the season, and I'm like, man, it's going to come down to coin flips, bro. Like, this schedule is loaded, but make no mistakes, it's going to come down to coin flips. And all this kid has to do is just be precise, be calm, and be durable. Stay healthy. That's all I need for you. He popped off last year. I'm watching that Las Vegas Bowl, and I'm saying to myself, this kid is going to work. He's going to work. He might end the season on a note that is very, very high. So, like I said, he don't have to be no superstar. He does not have to be. All he has to be is consistent, precise, surgical, and let Lincoln Riley trust you to go and be a mad scientist so we can go crazy. Let's talk about the next room. Oh, I already mentioned Hassan Longstreet, but he's coming in as a 5-star freshman, one of the most talented prospects that we've seen in a minute. And USC locked him up after a very strenuous recruiting process. But let's just say you signed a deal, you locked him in. And now I'm sitting here, he's on campus. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about him, a lot of great things, and hope and future is bright. So the quarterback room as a whole, even if you look at the third string, like they're good. Miller Moss leaves and go to Louisville, we still good. We'll be straight. And talking about being straight, listen, I don't want to have to convince you and try to pull your chain, pull your leg, cap with you. But this receiving core is probably one of the best receiving cores in the nation and probably one of the best receiving cores in the Big Ten, and they don't get enough recognition. But it's okay. You don't have to give them the recognition. That's why I entitled this USC versus the world. This is simple and it's really cut out dry for me. If USC is going to matter in 2025, it'll be because their wide receivers refuse to be denied over and over and over again. It's because the guy that I talked to you about not that long ago, Jaden Mayava, he actually has a security blanket of a plethora of options to choose from. Oh, you want to ball out today, Makai Lemon? Go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and get nasty with it. Let's talk to you more about Makai, because this junior gets labeled as a deep threat all the time. Deep threat. But no, he can work all across the field. Full field wide receiver weapon. That's him. Sign him up for great releases off the line of scrimmage. He does that. Sign him up for knows how to take a DB's ankles out in open space. Yup. Knows how to sit down in the windows. Anticipation. Amazing. He catches outside of his body. Like, let's be real. Makai Lemon is a dog. Makai Lemon put up 764 receiving yards last year, 3 touchdowns. I'm looking at him and I'm saying, Moon, what's that to be excited about? He added 500 plus more yards just on kick returns, my dog. He is cold. He is cold. He finished top 6 nationally in kickoff return average. And I'm like, just get the kid on the field. However, and a lot of probably why Zachariah Branch was unhappy was because this kid was balling out. Zachariah Branch said, "Hey, bro, you trying to go to UGA because they got a kid over there." I kid, but I'm really not joking when I say that this kid is an actual dog. You come over here thinking his last name is Lemon, thinking things are sweet, and he's gonna show you that it's tangy. 100%, 100%. Ranking second in the Big Ten in all-purpose return average and yardage. KT and Jalen, College Football Showdown, special shout out to them. I love them. I watch that show faithfully. They're getting closer to 100 plus episodes. Amazing work. They were going to talk about the Bolitnikov list and the wide receivers that you need to pay attention to, but I need to make my hand raised. You know how like you walking in the church, you got to just stick your hand up, put the finger up. Yep, I got to do that and tell you that Makai Lemon should be on the Bolitnikov radar. He should, because he can take over the game in all 3 phases that you need him to. All 3. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Lincoln Riley started fascinating late at night when it's 12 a.m. East Coast time, 9 p.m. West Coast time, in his office looking at tapes saying, dang, I could use Makai Lemon in the backfield. I mean, Woody Marks did a whole bunch of stuff for me last year, but I can even get deeper into my bag. He's that type of twisted energy. It's like twisted tea. He's like that though. Like I seen Lincoln Riley pull up a play sheet that was just this big, bro. Like literally just this big. It felt like this note card. And he was cooking on the sideline with just something this small. And I said, how in the world are they able to do this? Because he's an air raid guru. He's one of them. That's just Makai Lemon. All right, let's talk about the next kid. If we're going to talk about breaking down this USC team, there's one guy that needs to be spotlighted 100%. A pure mismatch. 43 passes last year. He made them count. 12 total touchdowns last year. Jacoby Lane at 6'4" is the problem on this team. Because USC needs red zone answers. And if you're a USC fan, how can we score in more possessions in the red zone? How can we not fumble the bag in the red zone? Well, look at this kid's way. He's going to be a physical presence for you when you absolutely need it the most. Contested catch rate, ridiculous, through the roof. When we talk about his ability to get separation on DBs that's smaller, he could turn them boys into barbecue chicken, neck bones, and collard greens. It's a whole family feast out there. Because you really use him in multiple ways, and Lincoln Riley can get really creative with Jacoby Lane. You talk about the wide receiver room deeper than that. They picked up a kid, Prince Strachan. This is brother of former Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Michael Strachan. And he's just as loaded too. 6'5". He averaged 15 yards per pop last year. He even got a 74-yard touchdown on his resume. So he knows how to take it to the departments when he really needs to. And he has this unique blend of speed, deception. He also can get busy and create space and separation exactly how you need it to. So when I look at that Strachan, I'm like, yo, Boise State, hey, let's just steal some of your talent. And you come over here now, play for a P4 program. And now you look at this wide receiver core completely different. And I didn't even mention the player that I'm probably the most excited about, Mr. Corey Sims, the number 2 player in the state of Missouri, top 20 national wide receiver recruit that was fawned over by many schools. He's going to bring in explosive depth. And look, I don't put it past Lincoln Riley to use his skill sets early on, and USC fans be like, oh, Corey Sims on the field already. Watch out. Early impact on the horizon, especially if you're using Mekhi Lemon all over the place. The wide receiver room is a lot to love, man. It's a lot to love, and it's underrated. Very underrated. But offense just can't be solved just based on the quarterback position, the wide receivers. It's so much more than that. USC fans, come take a look at our new running backs that we got in this year. Because Woody, he gone. Let's talk about the new kids. Their backfield is a committee, and it's going to be a 1-2 punch that I think is going to be, if they put in the work and they hit on all cylinders when the timing is right, because sometimes it's really just about timing, matchups. I really do feel like this is a 1-2 punch duo that can be beast mode for real. Perfect compliment. Let's talk about the first guy. The kid on your screen is Waymon Jordan. He is my headliner because I'm looking at him. He went crazy in JUCO. Insane. NJCAA, he finished with 1,614 yards, 20 touchdowns, and averaged 134 yards per game. That was in 2024. He ran for over 200 yards twice. And he never averaged less than 7.4 yards per pop. This kid is special, bro. I don't know how they keep finding them. The rich just keep getting richer. He has that short, compact build that you love, like 5'9", 209 pounds, short, stocky running back that we've been seeing get a lot more love and praise lately. The emergence of Ashton Genty, for example, is like making all types of teams fall in love. Now, I'm not saying that this kid is in Ashton Genty's category, but you start looking at the fact that he's relentless and he's built for a workload. He's perfect for USC's category. He's perfect. Perfect. I'm sitting there looking at the depth chart. I'm like, oh, Murray. How did we get this kid, USC fans? How? How did he fall into our lap like this? He's going to be built for a workload. Waymon, remember the name, the JUCO King. Then the next guy, Eli Sanders. Now, Eli is going to bring a different type of pop, a little something different, a little razzle dazzle, but he ultimately has experience in every single level. He played at Iowa State, and he also played at New Mexico. At New Mexico, man was nasty. 7.2 yards per pop. Crazy work. 9 touchdowns in 12 games. And I like the production. 1,800 career rushing yards. So he has some production. Unlike some other running backs that's trying to get some love with less than 300 career rushing yards, and you want to be RB1. I'm just playing. No, I'm dead serious. But he's been at Iowa State. He's been around the block. He's been around the world, and and he's now landed on USC and the Trojans as a guy. Now, I look at them both together, and I say, the Jordan Sanders combination that we getting right now. Okay. And I'm just talking too deep for the running back. I don't want this to be a whole 2-hour, 3-hour show talking about USC, but I can. But I just want to tell you that the running back room is some faith that you need to be shown in the running back room. USC invested in the running back room and said, we're not forgetting about this position and we understand how valuable it is, especially in this air raid offense that we want to use. We got to be able to still run the rock. We don't want to be operating out of 3rd down and 9, 3rd down and 6. No, we want 3rd down and 3. We want to be able to have no gimmicks and straight bully ball mentality. Straight, we want to run the rock, we're gonna run the rock. We wanna air it out, we can air it out. But it's going ultimately gonna be grown man football in the running back room. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, no, this is not no Reggie Bush, Lindale White era. No, make no mistake. But this combination could be filthy with the right type of timing. If they hit their streak at the right time, and they continue to progress and could just continue to progress in the system over the course of this summertime. That's 100% how I feel about it. They could take massive leaps. And the reason why I'm so confident about it, Moon, USC fans, it's not even just, we got good running backs and wide receivers. No, you got an offensive line that's actually the best part and the best piece of this team. You know how they say Fogers is the best part of waking up is Fogers, and you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say the West because I don't want to get copyright. But the best part of being a USC fan is because I have an offensive line that's full of bullies and grown men like this one. This kid is a grown man, 100%. And if USC's offensive line holds up, they can reach ceilings that no person really can fathom, probably outside of the USC community, because it's us versus the world. This entire operation, this entire game plan. I'm saying it with so much passion and pride because after doing so much extensive research on this team, I'm sitting here like, bro, it all comes back down to this position. And it oozes out of me right now because now I feel like I'm a USC Trojans fan for real. But after really looking up at this team, bro, the left side of this line is anchored by this kid. Red shirt sophomore, remember his name. Elijah Page, 13 games started last year. Freshman All-American. Say it again, Moan. Freshman All-American. Best lineman on the team. He is the heartbeat. He is the dog that's going to be commanding all the rest of them dogs to just maul people. He's going to be vital in USC finishing top 10, passing nationally last year, and also reaching new heights in 2025, year of our Lord. I feel so special and attached to linemen sometimes when I'm watching their film, and I'm saying to myself, oh man, he's the type of kid that like to put his face mask and then drop somebody down through the grass, through the turf. Like, I like him. He rubs off on me. He gets the juices flowing. He's a kid that not only is going to answer the call, but I could really see him running and repeat and being in Big Ten consideration and national consideration. And if he continues to take that leap, bro, the sky's the limit for him. The sky's the limit for Elijah Page. I'll just scream it from the rooftops. Best offensive lineman on the team. Then you talk about this kid. This is Alani Noah from the USC Trojans, offensive lineman. Remember the number. But also, this kid right here, 12 career starts at left guard. The first true freshman to start at that position in the season opener since 2014. He is the consistency personified. He's coming in and said, I can answer the call. I can answer that call. You talk about a lineman that is nasty. You talk about a guy that is disciplined. You talk about somebody that's versatile, so he might play center if you need him to. He could play the other guard position if he wanted to. Like, he's him for real. And I'm looking at him, 12 starts, he's going to add a ton more. By the time we get to the end of the 2025 season, he could be looking easily at 24, 25 starts. He going to the league. Both of the last two guys that I talked about are going to the league. I believe that. At center, we got Gianri Reed, who's a veteran. He got 25 career starts already, and he came from Syracuse. He gave up 14 quarterback pressures last year. I'm not sold on that 100%, but he's still solid, and I feel like he can help add to this top pass blocking centers in the Big Ten conversation if he just gets all of his things together and just lock in with this unit, and especially with their offensive line coach. And I think those type of things should be tweaked out. But think about it though. Those numbers are kind of skewed because he said they gave up 14 quarterback pressures last season. And where did he play at? Syracuse. So the numbers are kind of skewed because Syracuse passed the ball more than any other team in the nation last year. So when I'm saying, look at myself, I'm like, he'll be straight. You just got it. It's coaching. It's coaching. He'll be straight, bro. Look at the Big Ten all together, and I'm like, oh man, this offensive line is just adjusting so well. And they look the part now. They look the part. DJ Winfield from Purdue by way of New Mexico and this kid on the screen, Tobias Raymond, are going to round out a group that returns 40 plus combined starts and has battle scars from every single level of college football. It's not the flashiest offensive line in the conference. Make no mistake about it. But it is battle tested, and they're coming out for blood in 2025 because this season is just going to matter more. It's going to matter more. They went through their bumps and bruises last year. They was just freshmen thrown into the fire like, you figure it out. And now they're coming out on the other side with experience. They're like, yo, we've been through the fire. We went on the road to Maryland and College Park. We had to play against Oregon. We had to do that. Now they're looking at those battle scars and like, yo, these are cool now. They're running towards that smoke now. I look at it and I look at USC as a team that is, if they reach the heights that I know that they can in 2025, it will be not only just because their wide receiver room has Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane and Corey Sims, and not just because they got running backs that came in and injected new life, or the quarterback's name is Jaden Mayava. It will be because their offensive line answered the call, and their offensive line is actually built like that, 100%. And they answered the call in the Big Ten. Lincoln Riley. For the last 2 years, USC and their defense has been the ultimate punchline in all of our jokes that we want to spew out. USC can't play no defense, blown coverages, gas fronts, third downs. Third downs. If your quarterback was playing USC on third downs, it felt like an open mic session. And that man was going out there trying to be Michael Jackson on the stage. It ultimately cost USC in so many different games. Think about it. Billy Edwards Jr. had no business beating USC last year. And now I'm just talking about the game that I went to on a College Football Nation tour. He had no business beating them last year. You look at most of their games, some of these quarterbacks had no business doing what they did last year to USC's defense. But the problem is starting to be corrected. Why? Because, one, the excuses are out. Last year, 2020, let's just go back to 2023. 2023, USC's defense, like rankings-wise, was like 100 in like 100. It was like in the 104 to 120 range. They jumped all the way up in 2024 to like 40. So I'm saying to myself, whoa, massive jump. Huge jump up. That's exactly what you need to see, Moon. Now it's time to take that from the 100s to 40 and say, all right, we're not going down below this point, period. And it's not going to be about blaming the youth. There's no more hiding behind injuries. This unit is going to be experienced, bro. And it's stacked. The trenches all the way to the back end. They are stacked now. And I'm not just talking about their recruiting class. If USC defends at a high level, they can be in contention for the Big Ten title. It's not a crazy world to think about it, bro. I'll just show you why I feel that way so strongly. After doing my research and going deeper into the team, I realized that their defensive line is absolutely massive, literally and figuratively. If you want to ask and poll people that's USC fans and say, which part of your team are you looking forward to the most in 2025? You'll get a lot of different answers from a lot of different people, But one of the most underrated choices would be for the defensive line, because USC is trying to become its full identity of itself. It's trying to step in to full maturity in the Big Ten. And they want to do it with a defensive line that is nasty, deep, and hard to run the ball against. Like, When I'm look at the depth that USC now has in 2025, everybody's talking about 2024. Bump 2024. Look at 2025 and start with this kid, Anthony Lucas. He came from Texas A&M, transferring in. This is his last year. He this is his last. This is what he's all waiting down for. And I'm sitting here looking at him like, yo, you're poised to lead. You're in a position where you could take that next step and end up putting your name into draft consideration as the next USC great defensive end that can just cement yourself into the NFL draft. 6'5", 274 pounds. You look at those measurables and say, oh my Lord, prototype defensive end. And then you watch his speed, power, that twitch, knowing how to do the bend on the corner, on the edge. He had to go through rehab in the offseason. And he missed the back half of 2024. But when that kid was healthy in 2024, he was a dog. USC just got so many different punches thrown their way that they had to adjust to. Not only losing in court in key games where the games are so close, it was losing key production that was going crazy. Anthony Lucas is a high motor kid that for some reason it seems like he can just move all over the field like an Energizer bunny and don't get tired, take a little sip of Gatorade, a little sip of water, and he right back out there doing it again like nothing happened. He's that type of motor. And they got a lot of guys that's like that now because the identity has shifted, bro. The identity has shifted with USC. And then I look at the defensive line. My dog. Shout out Governor of College Football. Make sure you subscribe at DCFB Nation and at Governor of College Football. I want this kid to get the starting job so badly. I want him to get some reps. Jakeem Stewart. Hey, bro. I know there might be people that don't know your name right now, but I'm trying to tell you, in the world of college football, you are an absolute gold mine. Number 1 overall recruit in the country before reclassifying. 6'5", 290 pounds, 20 sacks in his high school career under his belt. That man does not look like a freshman. He is alpha. That's alpha right there. He's going to probably be a future top 10 pick in the league in about what, 3-4 years? I already see it. Remember his name, Jakeem Stewart. But this is the type of luxury that you can have when you're USC this year. Why not give him reps and play outside of Lucas? Why not? You know, put that man in that rotation and let him go crazy. And if I'm a USC fan, I'm begging the coaching staff to put him on the field as quickly as possible. And then you talk about the inside of this team and you go deeper than the surface. They have more depth than they really had over the last decade. Keyshawn Silver, the North Carolina turned Kentucky transfer, he's bringing 20 starts under his belt and 330 pounds on the interior of the defensive line. None more of that. Oh, well, we're in the Big Ten. We're just going to run the ball against USC. No. No. They got a big guy up there now. He a big dog. Call him big dog. His running mate on the defensive line and on the interior, Jamal Jarrett. Guess where he came from? University of Georgia. 6'5", 349 pounds. Oh, man. That man's been waiting for his breakout moment. This isn't no Bear Alexander experiment that we're sitting here talking about right now, USC fans. I'm not trying to get your hope up for no reason. I'm trying to inject life into your veins. I want you to listen to this and be like, dang, Moan, you wasn't just talking out the side of your neck, dog. I know that's my show's intro. But that don't mean that I be capping. Jarrett, he's a dog. Not literally just because he came from Georgia, but he takes up space. He knows it's just getting a 2 gap down. Knowing how to control an offensive lineman. He going this way, what? Or he going this way, what? Like the 2 gap, getting that down. He can be up there with Keyshawn Silver and just wreaking havoc on this defensive line. And they got the space now to deal with all these huge, humongous, cornbread-fed, big belly offensive linemen in the big team. You're going to have to deal with a lot of them this year. Like Iowa, you're going to have to deal with a lot of them. Oregon. All right, so let's keep going, bro. Let's keep going because I know I got a lot to get to, man. And I'm 40 minutes in. I'm spending a whole hour talking about USC. But that's Jakeem Stewart. He needs to be on the field. They also have Devin Tompkins, who put up 24 tackles and 3 pass breakups last year. They have Cameron Fountain, a former top 100 product, and he actually had 5 tackles in the bowl game. Underrated, by the way. The kid on your screen is Braylon Shelby. He put up 28 tackles and 5 tackles for a loss in 2024, and he had to step up because we had some injuries. It was 100% injuries. But this unit is rounding out together. And this is what USC fans have been praying and begging for the longest amount of time. Can we get some real depth? Dear Santa, can we get offensive defensive lineman that actually wants to commit to our school and stay? Dear Santa, can we actually get a pass rush that's filthy? Dear Santa, for Christmas in 2025, can we be playing for a Big Ten championship? I'm telling you that the future, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. All right, Moon. What about the other team? What about the other parts of the team? All right, let's start in the linebacker room. Let's go talk about it. You want to talk about heart? You want to talk about a dog? You want to talk about Alpha, the kid that everybody looks up to? You want to talk about the vet, the one that knows that it's his last chance and his last dance, and he still is going to fight through. And what we say at USC, fight on. Look no further than Eric Gentry. My guy is back. When I got a chance to see him, I was kind of disappointed because he wasn't playing. And I love to see him playing because he brings the sideline to sideline violence that you want. And you'd be like, why, Moon? Because he only played 5 games because he got hurt in 2024. And that was a punishing blow if you're a USC fan. I mean, humongous, gut wrenching my soul when this goes down. That's just 2 players that went down. But 6.5 tackles for a loss, I like that. 2 sacks, a fumble recovery, I like it. 33 tackles in a 5-game stretch. Come on, bro. The man's all over the place. When I'm sitting here looking at it, when healthy, he changes games entirely. When he's not, USC has no replacement for that guy because it's only one him. It's only one Eric Gentry. And I understand. Oh, of course it's only one him, Moon. Listen to me, bro. Listen to me, bro. That kid is 6'6" and he don't look like a linebacker at all. And then the ball snaps and he goes off the line. And you like, oh my gosh, that dude is a chaos engine. Yup, I try to tell you. I try to tell you. And you might be like, oh, Moon, it can't be that serious. What's up, Byron? Thank you for watching the show, man. Shake my hand. It's nice to meet you. There's another kid that's coming in, bro. Oh, that's just me. I saw that picture and I added it into the show because that's how I feel when I got my dog Eric Gentry back for USC in 2025. 100%. Anthony Beavers Jr., pictured on your screen, USC Trojans, comes in with 37 career games, 48 tackles, and he has some flexibility to him because he can move from safety. You put him over there, you put him at linebacker. You can just rotate him depending on the look. And now I'm looking at this team a little bit differently now because we got some back end pieces and we got some middle pieces. And then we got the defensive line looking together. They got some pieces, bro. It doesn't just stop with Anthony. Anthony, he's just another weapon that the Anton Lynn can unleash whenever he wants to. Desmond Stevens, the second, was a hard-hitting sophomore who had a 42-yard pick six, a forced fumble, and this was just in his debut season. He's next up, bro. He's next up. And then you add in Jaden Walker, 34 tackles, 5 touchdowns, is a 2-way high school star. This room, when I'm looking at where we are now, moving forward into the future, athleticism, check. Size, check. Versatility, check. Depth, check. What, Moon? You serious? We went 4 for 4. Yep, and this ain't Wendy's. It used to feel like it was Eric Gentry or bust for this team. I'm here to tell you that it's no longer the case right now, bro. It's not. Let's keep going because you might be like, oh, I'm still not sold yet. All right. Well, USC's defense continuously got torched over and over again. Well, the back end is back in business, and business is booming right now. It's veteran heavy. We got some athleticism. And if USC is going to be taken seriously in 2025, like I'm trying to tell you over the last hour now, the secondary has to stop giving up all of these. They got to stop bleeding all these yards out to these offenses. 100%. You can't do it in bunches, bro. You can't give up a 15-yarder, then a 20-yarder, then a 35-yarder. Then, oh my gosh, we got to lock in the red zone. No, it can't be like that, bro. You got to be clamp up. Now them boys is in 2nd and 10. Clamp up again. Okay, now they in 3rd and 7. Now we actually have high percentages working in our favor to get off the field. USC is in a situation where they have bodies now. They got ball hawks now. And it's just ready to break out. Start with this kid. Kamari Ramsey might be the best safety in the Big Ten that you haven't heard about. 60 tackles last year. 5.5 tackles for a loss. So he's in the backfield. He knows how to get his nose dirty. And I ain't talking about the powder. And he has an interception in 11 starts last year. And I'm saying to myself, you looking for a kid that can rally guys, that can pass down all that knowledge. He got the instincts. You clearly watch the film. You see Kamari Ramsey going ballistic. And I'm like, yo, does he always play like his hair is on fire? Yep. Now, sometimes it's like trying to contain Kamari because it's like he can be like a flamethrower sometimes. He see ball, get ball, 100%. And sometimes he can be deceived. So I know the coaching staff is working with him immensely on just like, hey, Kamari, discipline over everything, bro. Read your keys over everything. Let your instincts go crazy. But we know that you like to be everywhere. But play within the confines of the system. He's now more familiar with the system. But he's definitely a see ball, get ball, play ball type of guy. 100%. You bring in NC State transfer Bishop Fitzgerald, who had 5 picks and 16 pass breakups the last 2 seasons. USC finally has some safeties who can hit, they can cover. And I'm saying to myself, I'm looking deeper into the back end. This is defensive back Isaiah Rubin from the USC Trojans. This kid has 7 interceptions and 4 interception returns for a touchdown just in high school. The young shit is actually cold. And I pray that they let him go crazy in this year. This safety room, it got the perfect blend of what you need. Experience, youth, but more than anything, USC's safety room is terrifyingly fast. Then you look at the cornerback room because that's really going to be the make or break position. DJ Harvey had 4 interceptions and 10 pass breakups last year at San Jose State, and he's coming into a situation, hopefully on the boundary corner, and he's trying to be a lockdown guy for you. And then pictured on your screen is DeCarlos Nicholson, who is going to add to Prophet Brown and Braylon Conley, and it's going to bring in some experience. Prophet Brown came from Northern Illinois, and we saw Prophet. I saw Prophet in the Camellia Bowl last year, not this past year, 2023 season. So I already know he get down. And then you got true freshmen coming in that can be just as pivotal. This kid right here is Marcellus Williams. He's a former St. John Bosco star who put up 65 tackles, 8 pass deflections, and he did that en route to a CIF state title. When you start talking about USC and people, you hear people, throwing salt on their name and just going crazy on them. They don't want to tell you about their secondary taking massive leaps because this is actually the real secondary. They can go too deep at every position and be good. I feel like they can survive the physicality of the Big Ten. 100%. And then it's not like a patchwork group of wide receivers where you're just throwing things together, throwing stuff at a wall and like hoping that it sticks. Nah, you got people that you can be excited for, like this kid, Marcellus Williams. Or you got kids that you can be even more excited from, like DeCarlos. Or you look at this kid. I mean, take your pick. Isaiah Rubin, 4 return touchdowns in high school. He knows he has a knack for finding the end zone. He is the definition of what we call taking it to the apartments. So they got their fair share of firepower in the back end now. Now, let's just keep it spicy and keep it funky for you. Last season, USC's defense was ranked around the middle of the FBS pack, and it took a huge step up from the bottom tier because in 2022, 2023, they were getting cooked. The pass rush actually started showing signs of life. The tackling started to improve. The whole versus the world stuff is so overplayed. Go Big Red. Oh yeah, we'll be talking about Nebraska versus the world too, because yeah, you want to hear what I gotta say, Pre Malone. Hope you familiar with Post Malone too. The coverages was busted. They had to play top tier offenses and they crumbled. And then you saw 2024 come and you're like, oh, they're actually fighting. USC is actually fighting. They want to go fighting. Dylan Raiola, number 1 quarterback in the Big Ten, you are smoking gas, and I need some of what you got. And we can go match after the show, 100%. We're talking about USC's defense and why they're scheduled. Matter of fact, let's just go to their schedule because we're going to talk about Nebraska in a second. Their schedule is not favorable in 2025, make no mistake, but their schedule wasn't favorable in 2024, and it still put them in, 7 or 8 games that was still decided by one possession? It's going to be the same way in 2025. At least 7 of their regular season 12 games are going to be projected to be one possession affairs. That's more than half the season coming down to a coin flip, a handful of plays. You being out of position in zone coverage, a running back missing a block on a pass protection. When you look at this run for this team, I'm saying to myself, this schedule is not friendly on nobody. At first, coming up, we play a balanced team that's getting a lot of love in the Big Ten, and everybody is praising Illinois for what they did last year, what they retained in the portal. I mean, what they retained from their team, the emergence of Luke Altmaier, the consistency, at least for going up in Brett Bielema, and the program trajectory of Illinois seems to be different right now. Heading into this game, the margin is absolutely razor thin. It's razor thin, bro. Then that's a road game in Champaign, Illinois. Then you face Michigan at home, arguably the most complete defense in the country. They're not losing the same amount of draft picks that they did from the 2023 season. It'll be much lighter, and this team is still going to be led by their defense, 100%. And we're going to be able to see firsthand what the Bryce Underwood experience is like and how USC tries to contain it. We're going to see firsthand how do they deal with this wide receiver core. We're going to see firsthand how do they deal with physicality, 100%. And you get to host them. That's a whole nother. You talk about, I know. We can have a whole nother conversation. It could be a whole think piece that we can bring up, talking about USC's home game attendance over the last, let's say 5 years, even when they had Caleb Williams. Like, it's been hard to get them fans to come out and pack that Coliseum. Let's just call a spade a spade. It could be because it's an hour away with traffic. You say like it's because of distance. It's a whole bunch of other things. The team not being good, but that is a game that you want to pack out at home versus Michigan. You want to pack that game out. You want to show up, and you actually have a chance in this matchup because it's one of those one possession affair type of games. That line for that game is going to be within one possession, 100%. Then you go on the road to touchdown Jesus, a top 10 team with a ruthless pass rush, a quarterback situation that's still playing out. We don't know if it's going to be CJ Carr or the other guy. We don't know, but we still know that Notre Dame is still going to be good. They're going to be damn good. They got a two-headed running back combo that is arguably the best in the nation, top 3. You're gonna have to figure out firsthand how you're gonna stop Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. 100%. You're gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to figure out how can Makai Lemon and then Jacoby Lane, Corey Sims, the rest of this wide receiver core, how can we get separation against one of our really a test on the road? How can we get separation against Notre Dame's defense? 100%. So I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, yo, that's a tough road game. Nasty environment to go to. Trap game. 100%. Then you got Nebraska on the road. Nebraska fan. Let's just be real. This is a classic trap game. 100%. We possibly can get cold weather in this matchup. That's going to play a factor in it. We could possibly get tight margins on the field. That's going to play a factor in it. I am not low on Big Red this year. Make no mistake. I'm not low on Big Red at all. But I'm saying that these teams that have been forgotten about in the Big Ten, they're going to raise to the forefront. The Nebraskas of the world, the Tennessees, I mean, not the Tennessees, the USCs of the world, the even UCLA. I feel like UCLA is going to be good this year. So I'm sitting here saying to myself, you got a classic trap game in Nebraska on the road. That is going to be one of your toughest tests. You look at the schedule, that's going to be a tough test. I fear that game more than I do Illinois on the road and Notre Dame on the road. Because you beat Nebraska on the road in that environment. Whoo. Tough. Now, what you said about Dylan Raiola. Do I think Dylan Raiola takes the next step this year? He has to. There's no other way about it. He is the quarterback. They're moving quarterbacks to tight ends. They're moving quarterbacks to wide receiver, defensive back. Any way we can clear the house so we can just drill it through y'all head in Big Red Nation that Dylan Raiola is our guy. But to say he's number 1 quarterback in the Big Ten, then I would have to throw Drew Aller in the ocean and just forget he's existed. I would have to sit here and throw Dante Moore in the ocean and act like he doesn't exist. I would have to sit there and then look at Mark Gronkowski, who just came in from FCS, and say, oh, well, he don't exist either. We can go down the list. But maybe we got to do that for a Big Red episode one day. Appreciate you watching, Big Reds. Listen, Iowa and the Hawkeyes, this is going to be the toughest defense that they play all year long. I 100% believe that. Better than Michigan's? Yep, because I'm projecting Iowa's defense to be elite this year. 100%. This is going to be a test, bro. But the good thing is they play Iowa at home. It's always great to have this home game. It would be torture if you had to go wave to them kids in Iowa. No. But this team is going to be like that. They got a new quarterback and it's finally going to get some hope. This team's always going to have a bully of an offensive line every single year in and year out. But when I'm looking at the notes in the schedule for USC, they definitely had to circle this game and say it's must-win territory. Then it does not get easier. They got to play Oregon. And that kid, Dante Moore, is not down. And regardless, prayers up to Evan Stewart. We definitely praying for your health. I've been hearing some favorable projections for his timeline. People saying that, like, we understand that it's bad, like patellar and everything, but he could possibly be back this year. So I'm still having some hope. But the realistic thing is they still got weapons. They got Jerrion Dickey still. They got DeCorian Moore. They still got weapons, bro. They still got Makai Hughes, a two-headed punch in the backfield. That's going to be good. Offensive line, I'm projecting to take steps up. Defensive line is going to be nasty, led by Mateo. Back end, I know they got Jeffrey Bossa, but like they still got some talent. And my favorite player in the secondary is Roderick Pleasant. And you look at the amount of speed that Oregon has in the back end, that's going to be a matchup where we really get a chance to see, skill positions and grit. Because I'm looking at this game as absolute war zone. They got to go to Austin Stadium, war zone. Top 5 team, probably in Oregon, preseason ranked. It's going to be national title buzzes in this game. But guess what? If you want a quality win on your schedule, look no further than Oregon on the road. And then last but not least, in a team that we don't even have to say their name, USC fans. But let's just make no mistake about it. That team in the blue, in the Jordan blue. Yeah, they got a new quarterback now, and the projections for UCLA have drastically changed because this is their moment now. Deshaun Foster and them, they're cooking now, and they're like, "Yo, we're it don't matter what type of checkbook we got to pull out. Well, we'll do it. We got to get a quarterback. We got to bring a guy in." But the facts of the matter is, if you look at the schedule and the insights behind it, this is one of the toss-up games that is on their schedule. It's rivalry pressure personified. It is postseason implications personified for USC. And when I look at all of these games in totality, bro, you look at Illinois on the road. We talked about that. Michigan at home. But let's just look at the road games first. Let me go back a slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Work with me. Work with me. All right, cool. All right, so Missouri State should be a dub, right? Georgia Southern should be a dub, but make no mistake, Georgia Southern is going to stretch the field vertically and horizontally on USC, and it's going to be an early test. Missouri State, they got to travel FBS. Oh, FBS debut. Guess what you get to do? You get to travel to Los Angeles. You get to get baptized by fire, water, and the Holy Trinity against USC. Fight on, Missouri State. Fight on. You'll be straight. They got to play at Purdue, Michigan State. And then we see the end of September all the way to the rest of the year in November. This is where we're going to see USC really like the glue of this team. You know how you see like, what's the word? What's the analogy that I'm looking for? Pressure, either burst pipes or make diamonds. You know a lot about somebody if you put them in high stress situations and you squeeze them and you squeeze them and you squeeze them. Like that stretch right there, Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Iowa, Oregon, UCLA, you might look at that and be like, golly. And I said the same thing when I looked at it. But look, the college football gods gave USC close possession games, one score games, and said you get a chance to redeem yourself in 2025. You get a chance to redeem yourself. What better way to prove to the committee than to say, hey, we can knock off Illinois on the road? Even though they're a balanced team, shoot, we can get it popping and spray some champagne and champagne. You know what I mean? Oh, we host Michigan. Michigan is top 10 according to Phil Steele. Michigan is top 15 according to SP Plus. Michigan is getting all the rankings right now. One of the most complete defenses in the country. Hey, we can host them boys, get a dub. You know what? On our resume, we also have Notre Dame. You look at the amount of teams that they have on their schedule that we're projecting to be good. If they handle business, bro, they have the perfect script for a storybook of a season. I'm telling you. This is not the same 2024 team. And I'm not going to sit here and waste your time trying to predict the games. That don't matter. We still got 2 more months to go. We'll get into our deep dives and predictions all over the place. But I'm just trying to give you more insights to let you know that like this is Cinderella's storybook waiting, and people don't have the courage to pick USC and tell you that they're gonna do the unthinkable, and that's okay. That's why you got me. That's why you got Moon. The margins this year are not generous for this team. USC and the Southern California Trojans, you have to fight on in 2025 because you get a chance to redeem yourself. You let us down in 2024. Make no mistake about it. You let us down. Lincoln Riley, I'm gonna look you in the eyes right now, bro. You let us down in 2025. But I'm not just kicking you while you're down and just misinterpreting everything because I didn't watch ball and I don't know ball. People that don't know ball will sit here and be like, oh, well, USC is just not competitive in 2024. Cap. Look at their schedule and then look at the game film and then tell me that statement over again without lying through your teeth. 100%. USC was competitive as hell last year. 100%, bro. And then you look at just the closeness of the margins. The CFB God said to themselves, oh, this is perfect. We're going to send them boys on the road to Nebraska, on the road to Notre Dame, on the road to Oregon at Austin Stadium. Oh, bro, you got to play UCLA, Iowa. Come on, bro. It's perfect. Now, USC fans are not about to sit here and be scared of the schedule. This is what we signed up for, answering the call, being in the Big Ten. This is what we signed up for, 100%. But can they answer the call? 100% they can. I will tell you, USC has the talent to win the Big Ten conference in 2025. They absolutely do. They do. From the quarterback position, from what's waiting right now to what's waiting in the wings. He still got to develop, but hey, he's still he's a top rated prospect. But even Jaden Mayava, it's better to get the bumps and bruises out of the way last year at the end, so Lincoln Riley can know what we got going into this season, off season, spring camp. He just stacking, 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 stacking. I'm looking at this team completely different. And I'm not going to be like the other parts of the media that will sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, well, we don't know what to think about USC. Everybody doesn't know what to think about USC. But what I'll tell you about USC, their schedule is brutal. Make no mistake about it. But they got some dogs that can answer the call. Eric Gentry going to answer the call. Lucas going to answer the call. Makai Lemon going to answer the call. Jacoby Lane answering the call. Jaden Mayava answering the call. Elijah answering the call. I'm just saying it, bro. And I'm not trying to be repetitive or redundant or anything like that. But sometimes it's just changing the narrative. And it's too many people trying to throw shade on USC. Oh, we don't know what they're going to be. But y'all say that every year. And there's always a surprise team that comes out of nowhere. And then you wondering, dang, we never could have predicted that. The writing is on the wall. Some people think it's going to happen in 2026. But why can't it be a year early? Why can't it be a year early? Like, let's just be real with ourselves for a second. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I mean, if they start their schedule with Missouri State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, Michigan State. If they go through that stretch 4-0, I'm saying to myself, oh, USC, we cooking with hot gas, bro. Flame on. I know it's fight on, but flame on. It's like Goku hitting Super Saiyan, because that's gonna be the stretch that you really needed, bro. They start out 5-0. Went 4-0, Missouri State, dub. Georgia Southern, dub. At Purdue, that's an underrated test, but dub. Michigan State, dub. 4-0, heading into that gauntlet, we're gonna really see and let the season just shape itself so masterfully, shape itself so beautifully for USC. I'm not gonna be like the other people that's just gonna don't have the courage to just stand and talk boldly, but I gave you a breakdown of their whole entire roster, the entire roster, bro, to show you that, like, well, I would say about 60% of their roster, 60%, because I didn't talk about everybody. There's a lot of freshmen that they have on their roster now that we could spend a whole another deep dive on for another hour talking about how talented those kids are. But all I'm trying to do is show you that USC's trajectory in 2025 is going to be totally determined by them. And if there's one mystery team in college football where that one team could be the deciding factor on how crazy the season ends up being, let the USC Trojans actually wake up and stop playing and actually take over the throne that's just waiting for it to happen. And everybody wants to talk about Oregon. Everybody wants to have high projections on Illinois. Everybody wants to sit here and crown Penn State. They have the best roster in Drew Allar. Everybody wants to do that. And they seem to continue to forget about USC. In 2025, year of our Lord, there's nothing that's going to be forgotten about USC. It's just going to be smash mouth, defense, offense, a wide receiver core that you can't guard, and it's going to get popping early. Their schedule makers, thank the Lord, because they gave us the perfect resume for the college football playoff committee. Look about it. Like, literally, this is the last thing I'll say about it. If you're looking for a team that can make a case for a college football playoff national championship, why not USC? Why not? They would have beaten Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame, Nebraska on the road, Iowa, Oregon, UCLA. Why not? That's perfect recipe. I'll just say this. Do they win all of those games? Only time will tell. But they damn sure got the talent to compete for a Big 10 championship. 100%. USC fans, we're going to stay tapped in this year. We're going to stay tapped in Follow me because I'm trying to be a part of the club, bro. Y'all travel amazing to games. Y'all gonna travel amazing to Notre Dame. That's gonna be a one for the book. I know they're trying to cancel the game, but it's gonna be one for the books. Oregon, they're gonna travel amazing to Oregon. They're gonna travel amazing to Nebraska. Y'all better show up. 100%. Hey, Pre Malone. Pre Malone. I already know they're gonna be rocking out there in Lincoln, but them fans are gonna show up. So I'm saying this is my essay on why I feel like the 2025 USC Trojans are not only just fighting against themselves and trying to fight and slay demons. They're not only just fighting on trying to knock all these monkeys of 2024 off of their back. They're not just trying to fight on to make it through the summertime and keep stacking, stacking, stacking. Not only is their head coach consistently and continuously getting grilled by the national media over and over again because they're questioning whether or not you're an actually good ball coach for a team that gets tossed to the wayside, even though they have so much legacy, history, and just bravado. A team that I was super excited to see on the CFB Nation Tour in 2024, and I'm super excited to see in 2025. The writing's on the wall for USC. And that's in the world of CFB. It's just my job to try to bring it to you in a different way. You know what I mean? Hear ye, fight on, USC Trojans fans. For another jam-packed episode where I went over an hour plus trying to convince you that the USC Trojans depth on their team, their roster breakdown is more complete of a team than the others might tell you. We went from every position, full throttle, schedule breakdown to. If you like content like this, man, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to be a part of the 1%ers, hit the subscribe button because this is not stopping. We're going to be at Big 12 Media Days. We're going to be at ACC Media Days. We're trying to go to SWAC Media Days. This part of the year is always so exciting. It's magazine season. Everybody getting their takes. People have USC rated as a top 20 team heading into the season. Some people have them outside the top 25. But whatever you think, this part of the year is always so amazing, bro. It's always so just, it's like that feeling on the inside when on Christmas time where you know Christmas is approaching. Like it's that. And we're getting that more and more as the season gets closer. When we're like what 70 days plus before the college football season kicks off. So if you want more of the content, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button and share it with somebody so we can turn another person into a college football fan, because college football is the greatest sport in the world. We truly believe that at CFB Nation. And it's our job to try to bring the whole community together in the world of college football. We can't have a college football ecosystem without USC being good. I mean, it's been hard to see USC struggle, but imagine how great the college football ecosystem would be if USC was actually good again. Like 2025 could be the year, man. For me, Moan, credential media member of CFB Nation, the waviest to ever do it, host the world of college football, and your plug for everything you need to know about the college football world. We bring people together in this show. And until next time, we pray that if you're USC fans, sleep easy. Sleep easy. Everything gonna be okay in the wonderful world of college football. Shout out to the 1%ers. And until next time, my friend, one love.